Fearless at four, fearless at four, fearless at four. I feel like we're doing like
I know.
some synchronized swimming.
Yeah, I'm so not. I'm so not singing.
Like Esther Williams.
You don't want
me to sing. But you were gesturing, which was really great. You were giving the, a lot of that.
Always.
Which
I love jazz hands.
I love jazz hands too.
That's my answer to everything.
And
yes,
it is my honor and privilege to welcome Smith Banfield of ClearSpace to Fearless at Four, Fearless at Four. And we're going to talk today is about how we, what did I, it was really catchy when I said to you clear out 2016. Kick it, and make room for 2017.
Indeed.
So my cousin from Miami, that's Carmita Meriño, who is my cousin. Hi, Carmita.
Hi, cousin Carmita.
Mwah. So if you are watching this, please share so that you can also share within your network how we're going to be planning to clear out 2016 and make room for 2017. So Smith of ClearSpace, would you like to share with everyone a little about you and who you are and what you do?
I feel like I should look at you, but should I look at them?
No, you should look at them. You should look at them.
But I feel like I want to talk to you. So I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to you.
You're talking here. Yeah.
Talking to you guys.
Yeah.
So I know everyone has their ideas of, oh, I want to get more organized, or oh, I don't like the way I'm living, and I'll put it off till next year. And what I'm trying to do is introduce people into the idea of like, let's get it going now. And so that you actually come into the new year with this clear space. And it's really about looking forward. Everything I do in my business is like, where do we want to be? And people want to tell me about all their stuff, and I'm like, I don't care about that. Where do you want to go?
So how did you get to that, though? Let's talk about how you got there.
Well, how you get there is the visualization.
But you personally.
Me personally?
You personally, Smith. So let's talk about you, Smith.
Me.
Yeah.
I literally had a voice in my ear. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
I'm like,
as you're staring, she just painted. Your husband's not going to be on this.
No, my husband won't be on
Your husband won't be on this, but she literally painted the office to her home, and that's
as a surprise for Christmas.
As a surprise for Christmas, and that's what her manicure looks like.
It's beautiful.
You know, it's beautiful. Yeah.
So I've always been very creative and couldn't like stay with a job, and I thought, God, couldn't I just be happy like bagging groceries or something? Like, why can't I just find this thing I want to do? Yeah. And I was very frustrated that I wanted to be creative, but I couldn't figure out a creative job, and I didn't really know how to use the skills that I had. And I literally started making lists, and it wasn't like an organized list at all.
It was like scattered.
It was like a Post-it note, like, I like playing with negative space. Like, not kidding.
Oh, that's very specific.
I like working with a client once and then never seeing them again. Like, these are like the things that came to me. And then one day my husband and I went on a road trip, and I said, you know what? I am done trying to figure this out. I need to let it go. And as we were driving home 2 weeks later in South Carolina, I heard a voice in my ear, literally a man's voice. And I'm still like, what's that? I didn't recognize the voice. Yeah. Said, you're a home organizer. And I was like, what is that? And then as I looked into it, I realized, okay, well, I'm not type A, and I'm not, OCD about things, but I find very creative solutions. And I find that I work really well with creative entrepreneurs who like have like a bomb going off in their apartment when they work from home, and like kind of creating systems and structures.
Is anyone out there type A?
Are you?
Is anyone creative type A?
Creative type A is tough.
Creative type A is tough.
It's
like
really
an explosion.
Tough. That is really hard.
It's
I'm
really
so sorry.
Thank you. I feel like this is turning into therapy, which I love.
My work is therapy. Like, for real. I get into the deep. People are like, oh, you go deep. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Now, you're not a personal organizer, right? And you're also not an interior decorator.
Correct.
Right? So, like, you have a little sweet spot, which is kind of cool.
I do.
And what is that?
So, I call myself, I've changed it so many times. Basically, not your type A organizer is the one, which is catchy. I've also called myself Chief Beautification Expert, which is, the idea of why you're, being organized isn't going to make your space beautiful, and having a beautiful space doesn't necessarily mean it's organized. My grandmother, who was always concerned if someone's stopping by, after she passed away, like, my mom's like, she wasn't organized. She hid things. She just hid things. Oh. And like, there are people like that you go into their home.
Does anyone else hide shit? It's like all the places where like you stuff shit under the bed or in drawers.
Let me tell you, there's an
somebody
energetic.
Just like that.
Somebody did like that.
Yeah.
The energy of having stuff under your bed, no bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno at all.
So can I confess something? I'm going to confess something.
This is the second
to-
one.
This is my second confession. But I don't keep anything under my bed anymore.
Oh, good.
And the reason why is because I had the New York City nightmare. I had bed bugs earlier this year. Yeah. So
I'm
you
so
do that
sorry.
once, and you're like, never
yeah.
again.
You're like, no, there's no reason for
Never
that.
again.
No reason. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
But did you clear out some stuff?
Absolutely. I got rid of shit big time.
Yeah, well, that's how, I mean, that, so here's the thing, like I say to people who have a lot of stuff, I'll be like, what would you miss if you had a flood or a fire?
Yeah.
That gets you really clear really fast.
That reminds me of the movie with what's her face. I love it. She goes to Ireland. Leap year.
Oh yeah, leap
Yeah.
year.
She asked herself that question. If you were to fire, like, what would you grab?
Yeah.
What's interesting? So this is my psychology. Can I share my psychology around stuff?
Sure.
Okay. I love that you're here, first of all, because I have stuff. Now, I'm very Capricorn about my stuff. Mm-hmm. So my stuff is really organized, and back in the day I had filing cabinets and everything was labeled, and, my books are organized by genre, and then,
Oh, I love that.
and then visually, and then my shirts are organized, by length of sleeve and then color,
It's great.
So it's like visually, like I like to look at my closet and be like,
but
I've spent so much time in it. Now that I'm out, I might as well, decorate it. I guess maybe that's what it was. That's kind of fun. That was cute.
that was cute. I love that.
So I find that so my family fled Spain because of Franco and Cuba because of Castro, and they were forced to leave everything behind. So there's a part of me that keeps things because we lost everything,
That's generally the pattern.
And what's interesting is I've since let go of things. My cousin also joined. Hi Edward and hi Amy. It's great to see you guys. So one of the things that I do is one thing that I just recently purged were magazines. I had tons of magazines.
Oh my God.
And I had these beautiful magazines that were from this monocle, which I love, and the issue was that it was literally, I never go back to look at them, but I had this vision of an apartment that I don't live in,
Right.
where I have a beautiful library of stuff.
Right.
So I keep on living into a future that's not, an
and-
apartment that's not my apartment.
Of course. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that when you have things that you're saving for someday,
Yeah.
if you're not enjoying them now, then when someday happens, you can get them. We
Right.
live in a time, I can remember when I was a kid, I would be so sad if I heard a song on the radio and they didn't tell me the name of the song or the artist, so I wouldn't know. And I mean, literally, I'd be like,
Yeah.
who was that?
Yeah.
And are you kidding me? I can get any song I want,
Yeah.
at any time.
You can
So
Spotify.
we can do anything. And so now it's even those magazines, if you really wanted
Right.
those, you go buy them on eBay someday.
Yeah, totally.
And put them back on your
And
shelf.
put it back on the shelf and
Yeah.
say, there's the whole collection.
Exactly. So it's
Yeah.
we live in a different time where Amazon is there. You can get anything you want from anywhere delivered.
Right.
And it's happening faster.
Yeah.
Faster
So
and
for
faster
you,
and faster.
what do you find for your clients? Or what would you say for someone who's looking to clear out 2016 and move into 2017? What are the 3 tips that you would give them, to start wrapping their mind around? Where do you
Sure.
even begin?
So I like people to start with a visualization, and let's say just pick one room, because if you pick your entire home, you'll just get overwhelmed and you won't get anywhere.
Right.
So go into a space like your bedroom or the living room or wherever you feel you need some attention, and just imagine how you'd like it to be. Don't focus on how it is now, but how would you like it to be? What colors are there? What does it feel like? What does it feel like when you're in there? What are the colors? And it's no representation of what it is right now. It's where you're going. And so I say tip number 2 is really just make this list. You're going to make a list of everything that's currently in the space that you like or love
Yeah.
or use. That's it.
Love, use.
Yes. Once you've made that list, and you can take as long as you like to make that list, and it can be as long as you like, I want you to then look at what didn't you choose and why is it there?
Right.
And a lot of people, this is the third one, which I think is really important, especially this time of year with the gift giving.
Yeah.
Just because someone gave something to you doesn't mean you're throwing them away if you give it to someone else or it's not your taste. It's okay. You know, they're not going to come to your house in inventory. Like, where's that gift I gave you in 2005?
Right.
You know, what I find is I tell people to use, here's another tip, give experience gifts. Like movie tickets, show tickets, a bottle of wine, cheese that you know they love from a certain area, France or whatever. You know, like really go with an experience, because you will remember that and they will remember it much more than the scarf and gloves. I was like the scarf and gloves that you're like, oh, someone gave this to me, that you shove in a drawer.
It's so interesting. I find that for the past couple of years, especially for the holidays, like that's what I've been doing, you know. And maybe it's because I live in New York and there's not tons of space, but like what I love to do is give, especially there's always a musical that comes out, some musical movie that comes out. So I'll take my cousins, you know, or my sister or my parents, like we'll all go to the movies together, and then I buy the movie tickets for everybody.
Oh, that's great.
And then we have an evening, and then there's like always some conversation around whatever it is that the musical is.
Yeah.
You know, and last year what I did is I took my sister, my nieces, my grandmother, basically all the women, to see Disney on Ice.
Oh, that's so
which was really
fun.
That was really fun. And my niece was like mesmerized, and then the little one, Sophia, was like dancing. You know, she thought that she was like, you know, spinning and spinning and spinning, and could barely keep her still.
Oh, that's so great.
So yeah, so it's been. So I agree. I think that that's a great thing to look at, especially for the holidays.
Totally, and especially with kids. I'll give another. I'm like a tip machine.
I love it.
Like I keep
Give
giving
them,
it
give
out.
them.
So I think, and I really give this to my sister-in-law with looking at, you know, living in Brooklyn and having 2 kids. You've got to really look at how your space is allotted. And just before Christmas, she would always talk to her kids about like, what can you let go of? Like, what can other kids use more than you, or what are you tired of? And really this idea of generosity and giving, and like you got to clear space for all the new stuff you're going to get from Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And then I can remember years later, I would say my niece has like a bracelet on. I'm like, oh, it's a pretty bracelet. She's like, do you want it? I'm like, no, it's okay. But they're so giving, you know, and I think that's something really wonderful to instill at an early age. So if your niece is used to you taking her somewhere and having that experience, like that's something that she grows attached to, rather than where, you know, having the pile of stuff that you open, the thrill is over, and back to being you.
Totally. Yeah. I love that. So now you have some programs that are coming up that you want to share about.
I do.
So if any of this strikes you, like, so first of all, I met Smith.
There's TJ. TJ,
Hi,
oh my God.
TJ.
I'm so sorry. I missed
She's
your
so
show, and I was going to
apologetic
make him come with
about
me.
missing the
I'm
show,
so
and she never
upset.
told me about it, but it doesn't matter. We were there in spirit.
We were.
And TJ.
All my best intentions.
Lots of hugs
I
and kisses
swear.
to you. Mwah. So,
Okay. So my group
it's
program.
so funny that you're on here, TJ, because
I
we were
know.
literally just talking about you, and she was talking about how guilty
Were
she
your
was.
ears burning? Yes,
Yeah.
the guilt is riddled with guilt.
Yeah.
So basically, I've got Create Your Own Oasis group program starting this month.
Oh my
I'm
God.
crazy.
Love it.
December 29th, because, and we're starting on the 29th, because it's the new moon. Because that's really a wonderful time to kind of like get your goals figured out, and like what you want to bring into your life. But also, it's just a couple days before the new year, and I want my voice in your head as the new year starts, and really kind of give you that extra shot at really getting your space where you want it to be. It's an 8-week program, so by mid-February, just after Valentine's Day, February 16th, we end, and you're going to be so set up and like be so clear on the rest of the year. It's not even going to be something that has to be thought about.
Delish.
So it's. I mean, I'm super excited about it.
And how do they find you, Smith?
So they
It's
find me
ClearSpace.
clearspaceny.com.
Okay, great.
The group program is in the navigation bar, top
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
You can register right there. I'm telling you, this is something I've told people, like, have someone buy this as a gift for you. If you know, this is an experience gift. It's a great experience gift.
Yeah, and it benefits the house, right?
But yes, it benefits the house. But do not buy it for other people, because they probably won't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I like, really, the people I work with and the people that should be in this group are people who are like, God damn it, I need a change.
Yeah.
Like, I am fed up. I am tired of living this way. I want to live in beauty. I want to have an orderly life, because it's so crazy everywhere else. You might as well have some peace at home.
Right. I love that. And do you have any special wishes for the new year? For the Christmas and New Year's? Yeah. To share with our fearless at
Peace
4.
and love.
Yeah.
Peace and love is the only way we get anywhere.
Yeah.
Focus on what you want in everything.
And there's something that you talked about, which I think is great, is thinking of like where you keep space and how you keep space as wellness.
Yes.
So that, you know, in that space of
Yes.
like really starting 2016, you know, 2017, you know, with power, it's like just really making sure that your space is clear and clutter-free.
Right, and makes you feel good
open,
in it.
And you feel that the energy is great, so that you
Well, and
can
that's the
create
thing
powerfully
that,
from there.
you know, having a beautiful and organized space really is part of self-care and part of wellness. And people don't really, like, you know, it's like taking pride. You know, you take pride in your home and take pride in your space, and like your clothes. How do you keep your clothes? Are they a rumpled mess? Are they, you know, like,
Very
you know,
organized.
I'm sure yours are just fine. So that's really where we want to take people, is into this space of, you deserve, is this where you expect it to be, where you are? Is this how you expect it to live your life? And it's not too late to change it. It's not hard.
No.
It's not hard.
And do you have any, what would you say, like, you've been an entrepreneur now for a while, right? So what is the most fearless thing that you've done?
This is the question.
Yeah, what is the most fearless thing that you've done?
I think,
Or an advice of fearlessness into the new year for anyone who's watching, who may be thinking about, they have an idea, they want to launch a business, or they're, what would you?
well, I
what
will
would your
say,
advice be?
this is my third business, and my first two failed. And after the second one failed, I proclaimed to the world I was not an entrepreneur. And then went into a deep depression.
Yeah.
Because I knew I couldn't work with people, like, in a real job. And I just was like, who am I? Like, what am I? What have I become? And I would say the most fearless thing I did was actually try again. And this was it. Like, I mean, it's going into my fourth year.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, and it's like, this is like, I'm like, oh, this is what it feels like. Like, this is, I'm in it. I'm like flowing. I've got my beautiful website. I've like got clients. I have many different things going on, and it just feels like this is where I'm supposed to be.
You're
so
aligned.
I am totally aligned. And so
Awesome.
if maybe you haven't become aligned, like if you haven't had success, or if you're afraid or whatever, just realize if you are truly aligned with what you're meant to do, it will just all show up.
And what I think
it's
our presence
amazing.
is like to keep on creating anyway.
Yes.
Like, you continue to
Yes.
create despite the fear,
Yeah.
right? And as
Yeah.
you created and created and created and created,
Yes.
like, you manifested
Totally.
the alignment. You know, you
I mean,
manifested the opportunity to land in what it is that you
Absolutely.
were called to do.
Absolutely. But I'll say every single day of my business, every single day, I am stepping out into nothing and hoping there will be something to land on. And that every day is terrifying.
Yeah.
Every
I
day.
totally got that. You really said that beautifully. But I feel like that's entrepreneurship too. It's like, I don't know.
Like,
And
and I'm
gonna stick.
going anyway. Yeah.
So that's a beautiful message with which to leave us, you know, as we enter, you know, this time of reflection,
Yes.
you know, and family. And, you know, I
Yes.
think we're also thinking about, like, what does 2017 have in store? And there's an invitation, like you said, to continue to, from nothing,
Yes.
step into the unknown,
Yes.
you know, not knowing where you're going to land, but
I
trust
know.
that wherever you land, there will be alignment and power
Totally.
and the opportunity to create your life in the way that you want to create it.
Be afraid and do it
Fearlessly.
anyway. Yes.
Absolutely. Fearless.
Exactly.
Live free. Love more.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.